I'm Terri Leighton, Principal at Dixons Manningham Primary Academy. We are in the centre of the UK, really. Bradford, where my little arrow points. We have quite a large population, and we are one of the most deprived wards within the UK. So we have a lot of vulnerability, a lot of low attainment when they come into school, lots of children with EAL, English as an Additional Language. 98% of our students are from a different ethnic minority group, and roughly 13% have special educational needs. We're a two-form entry, which means we have roughly 430 students. And because of the different ethnicities we have 33 different languages working across our school. Generally speaking, our students come into nursery at 3-year-old, into reception at 4-year-old. They are already 2 years behind where they should be on entry to school at those points. Language being the biggest concern for us.
Get ready.
Okay, so I'm going to rewind back a little bit to the year 2019-2020. It was our third year of using Corrective Reading programme, but it's the first year that we've actually got data on.
Yeah.
Due to technical issues. So Yasmin, would you like to tell us what we're seeing on that graph there, please?
I mean, initially when we first started, you can see here from this graph, you've got year 4, which is the blue. They were all year 4 students that were doing corrective reading in those years, as you can see. And the orange is for our year 5 doing corrective reading and the year 6 doing corrective reading. Initially, when we came across DI, we didn't use it whole school. We used it more as an intervention for our bottom 20% within our year 4, year 5 and year 6 cohort.
Get ready? Talk! Yes, talk.
With those groups, we were finding that we were getting past our phonics tests, weren't we? We were doing really well.
Very well, actually.
And then once the children hit year 3 onwards, the fluency in reading started to become a problem, didn't it?
That was one of the reasons why we started to use the corrective reading. And what we found, our children, once they had used the programme and we did it with our bottom 20%, they were very fluent, weren't they? They were very fluent readers. We felt they were quite confident to pick up text and read that.
Maria gets a job as an investigator. The weeks just before the summer vacation went very slowly for Betha. It seemed that summer would never come. The classrooms got very hot during the last week of school. But suddenly, school was out for the summer and...
We started the programme in September 2019 and we went into COVID lockdown, if you remember, in March 2020.
Whoa.
And at that point, we were sending little videos home, weren't we, with the DI?
Yeah, we'd video ourselves in the classroom.
And I don't know if you remember some of the comments from parents about...
They were actually beginning to use it, yeah?
Parents using the DI materials and just how impressed they were with how much their kids had remembered.
Yeah. And I remember at that time when the children did return, what was really interesting, even though the children had the lockdown issue to deal with, they weren't in school, but when we retested them, from Chris's advice, on the mastery back to where the children started, they had retained everything. That was impressive. Really impressive.
I've just done a reading workshop for parents, and there was quite a few of the parents that have had children that have gone through school sort of in year 4, year 5 now, and did DI all the way through lockdown with them, and now they're other children in reception, and they really understand how it works. And I did this with my eldest, and I taught him to read like this, so now I understand, and so that's lovely as well.
But then as well, from a staff's point of view, I remember reception coming to me and being really excited because the children were remembering 2 and 3 step instructions.
That's
from a much earlier point than they had done traditionally.
What will Kim do in this story?
Move her stuff in a van.
Yes, move her stuff in a van.
I know you were teaching on the second year, Abby, when we moved it from reception into year 1 and 2. So the second year, we didn't just introduce another year group, did we? Because of the COVID and because those children that were accessing the DI when we went into lockdown made the least regression
That's right.
out of everybody. Yes. So the following year, we implemented it with year 1 and 2, and Chris flew back again to do more training with us, didn't she?
Yeah.
And more training happened. So Nifty were really, really supportive.
Get ready.
Honey.
What word did you spell?
Honey.
Yes, honey.
Perfect. Do the same.
So what's been that cumulative effect, Abby, then, of the DI, language and reading coming from reception, year 1, year 2, even into year 3 as we catch up on those missed learning from COVID? What's the implication for year 4 then when they go through into year 4?
I think we are in year, we still are doing DI up in year 3 for some of the children at the minute, but they are at the stage where they are massively independent and fluent readers. We can give them a massive amount of reading and knowledge, and they're able to, understand it and apply that to different areas of the curriculum. And then when they go into year 4, they're not on the DI programme anymore, but those skills are still transferable. What we do need to make sure that we have that we keep a really firm eye on is that they are keeping the stamina as high as we do. In year 1, 2 and 3, we are so used to doing the DI programme, and it's 45 minutes of reading vocabulary, reading story, questions, a worksheet, and the pace of it is just, bang, 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 and we need to make sure that carries on.
R-E-A-D-Y.
Read it. Get ready.
Ready.
Spell it. Get ready.
H-O-P-E-D.
Read it. Get ready.
I think as a school, we made that decision to come away from just doing interventions and more of a case at looking at the younger end of the school, and rather than doing it for smaller groups, to do the whole of the cohort. So we started initially, am I correct, in the reception years? We started reception first, and we had training from Chris herself for the whole of the reception year groups. Once that took place the following year, we took direct instruction, the reading and the language programme within to year 1 and year 2 students.
So up until then, we'd always used different interventions, but they were very time intensive, very labour intensive.
That's right.
Very small groups, which meant that we couldn't get through all of our children. So we were working very closely with Nazam Hussain, an educational psychologist at the time, and we were asking him about the drop-off that we had in reading at year 3, how we could combat this language issue we had coming into school. And it was Nazam, wasn't it, who pointed us in the direction of Nifty and their wonderful products.
We've had a lot of support from Nifty. We, as a school, have been very fortunate. We've had Chris, our implementation manager. She was there from the onset, right at the start. The training side of things, the understanding, the reasoning for why we need to get children at mastery. And it was such a systematic and sensible way of teaching the language alongside the reading. It was a no-brainer for our school.
Get ready.
Get.
Yes. Get. Get ready.
We've got a couple of nursery children.
That's the first time, isn't it?
Accessing the reading mastery and the language.
Yeah.
So these are 3-year-olds. Sarah, the nursery teacher, is currently starting the language master
Yeah, we start language in summer.
Starting young now.
now.
This is how- this
That
is brilliant.
started now. We don't tend to do it too much in nursery because our reception student intake isn't just from our nursery, so we don't want to get too far ahead.
No, she uses a lot of the language in the areas of provision. You know, there's similar language so they're getting used to it, ready for reception.
And now that we're getting to the stage where for the last few years, the current year 2 have been in all the way through year 21, 22, 22, 23. They've done 3 years of DI. They're just about ready for year 3 to be the first cohort not to do DI
Yeah.
year 3. So again, we get to rewrite the English curriculum.
Joyous.
Things are changing again, yet again.